Welcome back, friends. So previously we removed the roof rack off my Jeep. Now when we did that, there's something we lost that I didn't take into account. And that was losing the mounting spot for my rigid lights here. Now these are a hyper spotlight. I've had them for quite a long time. They look really awesome still. They show very little sign of wear. And I've put them through a lot of abuse. So if you're looking at a rigid light, they're really good. Just get them. You won't regret it. They are really nice. Now, why do I want them on my Jeep? Well, more light, of course. Well, actually, I'll be honest, that's not the reason. I have 4 KC lights in the front. They're really good for what I do. I don't need to desert race, so I don't need that much light, but I like the KC lights. I like how they look. But I have the rigids, and so naturally I want to use them, so I want to get them on the Jeep. We don't have the roof rack anymore, so we're going to have to mount them a little differently, and that's where mounting them on the pillar comes in. So today's video, we're going to mount them on the pillar. We're going to clean some wiring up, because I used to have a 34-inch light bar also mounted on the roof rack that I'm no longer going to use. And we need to clean that wiring out and just get everything wired up and set to go. Before we get into today's video though, a long-term follower of the channel, a long-term viewer named Elijah wanted to share something with me. So let's take a look at it.
Mark, this is my new tackle box. This is the inside of it. Salmon eggs. And this pink stuff. And gloves. And this. And 2 of these. And 1 of these. Bye.
Elijah, thank you for sending that to me. That is really awesome. You did a really cool job with that tackle box, setting it all up, organizing it. I really like it, man. I might have to ask you for some tips on my shop here and how to organize it the best. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get into today's video. Let's get these lights mounted and the wiring cleaned up. All right, so here we are looking at the pillar of my Jeep. Now you may be wondering, how are we gonna mount the light to it? Well, very simply, we're gonna use this pillar mount here. This is made by KC. I think Rugged Ridge and a few other manufacturers make these. They're not very expensive and they're a really easy way to get lights on your rig if you don't have any other area. So what we have to do is we have to get some bolts out. I'm missing 3 on this side because I took them out when I took the roof rack off. So we just need to get those off. The other thing we need to do is, you'll see this bundle of wire I have sitting here. We're gonna have to go ahead and clean that up too, because there's a whole plug here that I don't need. There's 3 and we only need 2 because we're putting 2 lights on. So let's go ahead and get this bolt out, and then we got to do a little bit of cleaning here because the roof rack's been on there for a while. So I am going to go really easy here. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm just going to take some WD-40 and I'm just going to wipe this down. Now, obviously there are much better ways to clean this, but I think this is going to be totally fine. I'm just trying to get the dirt off of it, so that we try not to scratch this when we put it together. Now that we have this hole cleaned up, we need to put 1 bolt in to hold the bracket, and then we can go ahead and put the rest in. Now you are gonna see there's some paint transfer and stuff here. That's from the roof rack that I had on there. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I could go and get a waxer and a buffer, and I could try to pull this out, but I just don't really think it's worth my time right now, so I'm just gonna leave it. But we do need to get a bolt in, and so naturally we gotta get some Loctite on here. And this is just to help us hold the bracket in while we're tying everything down. And the nice thing about this one specifically is it's very thin, but still pretty strong. And so you can use your factory hardware. So you don't have to buy anything extra, because these factory bolts here they're not exactly the easiest to get a hold of. I'm sure you could put something else there. Like, I know that you can put just like regular bolts in there. That's not the cleanest or the best way to do this, so we're not going to do it that way. And these are nice because they're recessed. This one specifically is recessed already to accept these style of bolts. All right, that one's done. Let's go do the other one. So one trick when you're doing this kind of work is actually you can use the Loctite. You can put it on all your bolts first. A little dab. All your bolts first. And then you're ready to go. You don't have to be fumbling around with things, putting it together. Just kind of set them upside down right where you're working. Especially if you don't have a tool cart. Now, here's a question for you guys. I'm looking for a toolbox. Probably gonna be Harbor Freight just because of the price range, and I think the build quality for what they are pretty decent now. Do you think my first one should be a tool cart, knowing that I like to work right next to the vehicle? Or because of the smaller shop, should I go for like a toolbox, like a 44-inch or whatever it is? I'm leaning towards the cart, but I'm worried that there's just not enough space for the amount of tools I'm gonna need. I guess I can always upgrade to a toolbox too, and then I have both at some point, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Now, I actually have two styles of these mounts, believe it or not. And one of them is made by Rugged Ridge. This one's made by Casey's, like I mentioned, KC lights. I actually like this one better. The Rugged Ridge can actually mount two lights, which is really cool, but it has one downside in that it cannot use the factory mounting hardware. And that's a little bit of a bummer. And the reason that is because with this factory hardware on here, this mount is very low profile. With it being low profile, that means you can still get your doors off. If you were to put regular bolts in here, and I speak from experience, you're not gonna be able to get your doors off. You have to, this bottom bolt down here has to be a cap bolt essentially for it to work. Well, for you to get your doors off, that is. Let's go and throw the light on while we're right here. Oh. I sees I should have got some washers. That wasn't very smart of me, huh? All right. See, it's these moments that I wish I had more of a toolbox set up, and this is kind of the moment where I wish I kind of had a tool cart. I had to go raid my Jeep for some ratcheting wrenches. Make my life a little easier. I'm looking for a 1/2 inch. Where are you? All right, let's see. This should make quick work of it now. Oops. That's about where I wanted that. Let's dig into the wiring now. Now, we need to get underneath the cowling. That's one nice thing about the TJs, LJs, YJ maybe, is that this whole cowling here comes off. So it's a really nice spot to actually sneak wires into. And these come off really easy too. You know, part of me here feels like I'm kind of going back to my roots with this thing. These are mounts that I used to have on here, and when I only had, well, one set of lights, these guys actually, this is how I had it mounted back when this Jeep was really more of a rock crawler than anything else. So it's kind of cool. Okay, let's see. Now, how can I get this to pop up? I think there's actually a screw under here if I remember right. Let's open up the hood. Aha, there you are. I thought there was one under there. All right, that's popped up. I'm gonna have to lower the hood, I think, in order to get that out of there. Yeah, just like that. Ah, I see what I did. We're going to have to do some cutting and splicing. It looks like what I did in an attempt to, well, shortchange myself or actually clear up some of the wiring is I actually went ahead and used some heavier gauge wire and wired the plugs together. So that way I could shorten how much wire was actually running up the side of the roof rack, try to keep it cleaner. But with that, here's a problem. I don't have these connectors, and that means I'm gonna have to run to the store to fix this. So, we'll be back after a short trip. All right, now that we got what we need to do this, Let's do it. Okay, let's see. How does that look? Looks okay. Doesn't look bad. Let's heat this up. All right, let's see what happens. No? Oh. I think they're wired to the wrong thing. You know what? This would probably be the reason why we only had one come on. I was thinking, man, the relay is really acting odd that it only turns on one light. How could that be? Let's find out now. Oh, wrong switch. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's another argument for having a tool cart instead of a tool chest to begin with, because then I can bring it over here and use it as a working platform. Even though the garage is small, it's still nice to have a working platform next to where you're doing the work at. Again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I'll put maybe I'll do a community post and put a poll in there and see what you guys think. A poll would be a good idea. Let's get this on here. Uh-oh. Oh, I found it. I am so lucky. No, I don't think I can get that screwdriver in there. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can. Oh, I got it. I got it. Oh yeah, I got it. What luck. It fell like that, sitting just like that on the battery tray. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's hit the switch and see what happens. See if it turns on with the right switch this time. Yep. Cool. Okay, and with that, one last thing to do, and that's to fix this antenna from rattling. And oh, Sammy here, that's gonna be your job, buddy. Stop me from going crazy from hearing my antenna rattle against that light. All right, so there it is. There's the install. We're done here. There's nothing more to do except go out and aim them. And if you guys want, I'll do a video on that one as well. It's very easy to do. You just go out to a dirt road and, well, you know what? We'll do another video on that one just because it's fun to watch, and then we'll get to see how the lights perform. I really like this mount for one specific reason. It's low profile. It doesn't look bad. It looks nice. It's very sleek, and you get to reuse your old hardware, which means a little less money out of the pocket, which is always a good thing, I think. I will put a link to this and to the Rugged Ridge version. Just know that with the Rugged Ridge version, you may have to source your own hardware to install it, because I don't know that it comes with it. If you do, just be careful what hardware you get, especially for this bottom bolt here, because if you get the wrong bolt, you will not be able to get your door off if you care. If you don't care, then it doesn't matter. But if you care about pulling your doors off, make sure you be careful which bolt you use. You might actually be able to reuse this bottom bolt here, only because it's a lot longer than the top three, or at least these two and that third one. So with that, I think it's time to end the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this whole thing, what you think about, well, Sammy here. Aim forward, thank you. And yeah, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.